I have no words for how 10 out of 10 that movie was. Hi everyone, I'm just gonna jump straight into it because, oh my god, I'm trying to organize my brain of how crazy this movie was. One, my theater experience in this was just incredible. The fans all decked out in a Shadow and Sonic gear, myself included. Everything about this movie was just wow. Leads better than the last two. This felt like a true Sonic movie, more so than the second one, and definitely the first one too. Okay, before I go on, yes, this will have spoilers because I cannot contain them, and I must speak about it. So if you don't want to know, leave now. Alright. So, I just want to give props to Jeff Fowler. He worked on Shadow the Hedgehog before, so it's no surprise that he did the character justice. He was written and portrayed very well. He wasn't toned down or anything. Keanu, you voiced him amazingly. He understood the project. Also, Shadow was watching a Spanish soap opera at one point. I love Latina Sonic. I felt his friendship with Maria was put together great, and I did like the changes that they did to Maria. For one, she wasn't sick. She was just brought onto the base to stay, invited by her granddad, Gerald Robotnik. She still met the same fate, but it was different. Not 100% like in the games, thank goodness, because if they actually allowed that, oh boy. But it still happened. Commander Walters, who is basically like our Commander Abe, wasn't a guy who blamed Shadow for Maria's demise. He tried to stop it. He tried to stop his soldiers from hurting Maria and Shadow. But Shadow still held a grudge as he nearly almost killed Tom, who was in disguise as Walters. Eggman, right now, I feel like his arc is kind of like complete. I'm not sure if we'll ever see him again. Jim Carrey already doing a third role as the character was rare to happen. But I'm glad he came back, and he did him and Gerald so well. By the way, Gerald Robotnik, he dies in the most hilarious way. Oh my god, it was so hilarious. Literally yeeted it across the room, hit chaos energy, then boop, that's it. It had the funniest sound effect. I mean, where would they go with Eggman? He tried to save the world, and then boom. Does he go back to continuing to take over? I mean, obviously he has to at one point because he's the main antagonist. He's not gonna go good, so, you have to wonder. You really have to wonder. Speaking of wondering, I wonder what Ancient Stone will do now. And that's Team Sonic's friendship and family bond was presented so great. They made sure to have a lot of focus on these guys, and I'm super glad. I felt Tails didn't have a lot of screen time in the second movie because they brought in Knuckles, and he was the secondary antagonist and big focus. But in this movie, both he and Knuckles had a great amount of screen time together, along with Sonic. The way they all spoke to each other, all both in emotional and tense moments, were just beautiful. The moment when Sonic's about to go pure rage mode and was willing to fight Knuckles to know where the Master Emerald was, oh my goodness, I was worried. I just love this trio of bros. Also, Sonic hugged Knuckles. That's never happened before. Next up, I liked how we had less focus on the humans, even more so than before. The fourth movie is gonna barely have them in it, I think. Okay, now the references, oh my god, all over the place. Sonic says low budget flight. He said the line from SA2. Oh my god. We were all like, what? He said it. Oh my god. And then they reference how Knuckles was afraid of ghosts because he encountered King Boom Boo in SA2 as well. The Chow Garden, the bike, so many references. And then the best part, music from the games. And not just small nitpicks where you can barely even hear it. No, we heard it even more so. Eggman's theme, Live and Learn. We got Live and Learn, people. We've been asking for music from the games since the beginning, and we got them in the best way. If they didn't do Live and Learn, big error. The fight scenes, amazingly animated. Shadow on his bike, and then best of them all, the Super Sonic and Super Shadow showdown. Sonic literally grabs Shadow from the Ark. He literally goes through the Ark and grabs him all the way through space. And then Shadow punches the emeralds out of Sonic, like how Knuckles did in the games. I gotta say though, Shadow was, handling himself a bit well in the beginning against Super Sonic. It shows how powerful he is. And then, bam! A Super Hedgehog face-off. And then, they literally fly all over the world fighting each other. Oh my god. And then, once they put their differences aside, a team-up with a transformation sequence straight out of SA2, and then a battle with the Pose. Oh my god, my theater was going crazy. Oh, and the moon got lasered. If you know, you know. Okay, now, I must talk about the bigger things here. And that is the post-credit scene and the mid-credit scene. First, let me get the obvious one out of the way. The mid-credit scene is revealed that Shadow is revealed to be alive. Obviously, we all knew that was going to happen, so yeah. Where he goes now, we have to wait and see. I do hope they bring in Rouge and Omega at some point, though a lot of people were hoping that Commander Rockwell character was Rouge in disguise. I'm gonna admit, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that was true. I wish that was true too. Yeah. Not sure how much story elements they'll change for them. Are they gonna go with the amnesia plot nets for him? I don't know. Next is the post-credit scene, which is the biggest one of them all. Okay, Sonic is running into a forest in New York, and out of nowhere, with a sequence straight out of Terminator, Metal Sonic shows up? What? Sonic immediately gets to work, but then a whole army of Metal Sonics arrive. And what? Where did these guys come from? And then they're about to attack him when out of nowhere, a familiar-looking hammer appears to attack the robots. And when this person lands, the figure reveals himself to be Big the Cat. And no, I'm kidding. Amy Rose! What? I cannot tell you how crazy this scene was. My theater went berserk and clapped. I am so happy to see this. Oh my goodness. I have so many questions about how these two are here. Two of the most requested characters in the movies. We got them both in the same movie. How? Fans have been wanting Amy for a while because of how it's weird that we don't have her before Shadow, and how it's been too much of a guy fest right now when it came to Sonic characters. And then Metal Sonic. Fans have been speculating for him because of how Eggman keeps taking the quills of Sonic, like using these quills to make Metal Sonic. Also, his design looks straight out from the game. I don't see any difference whatsoever. And then Amy looks great in movie form. I wonder who's gonna voice her. And is Metal Sonic gonna speak in this movie? I don't know. And what is the plot? What will be the plot? Why are they here? How are they here? Why are they here? Some have said that they're gonna adapt the Sonic CD storyline in Sonic 4 because of how Metal and Amy were introduced in that game. Amy in that game came to see Sonic because she had a fortune card reading that he needed assistance. So that same thing could be happening here. And in Metal Sonic's case, he could come from the future, as Sonic CD had the Time Stones. So whoever created him in the future must have sent him back in time to get rid of Sonic before he has a chance to stop whoever the bad guy is in Sonic 4. And honestly, I have zero idea who the villain in Sonic 4 could be, because in Sonic CD, it was Eggman. But if he's gone right now, for now, we don't know, but then who the heck is the villain? Ugh, so many questions! I am having a hard time finding any negatives because I loved every single moment of this film. like I said, this felt more of a Sonic movie than Sonic 2 and Sonic 1. Okay, so now that I think about it after, decompressing all the excitement and the hype, I think I do have, some criticism right now, thinking about it. So I do wish the movie was a bit longer. I know it was stated that the movie was a bit shorter than the second one. Honestly, I can understand why, because the budget with all the animation with the Sonic characters and such obviously would be like a lot of money. So I can understand that. Also, I wish the cuts that he did when they had the Super Sonic and Super Shadow transformation, when they were going up to the Ark. I didn't like how they cut immediately when they had Live and Learn, then cut to Jim Carrey, and then when they did Super Sonic and Super Shadow again, they once again cut to Jim Carrey. And in both those moments, it was funny antics between the both Jim Carreys. I know, again, they're trying to appeal to kids, but I'm pretty sure if they stuck with that, with the Sonic stuff, kids would love it. They didn't need to do that. And even if they had to, I think they should have cut it in different ways. Had the Super Sonic stuff be stuck together, and then later on, cut to Eggman fighting Gerald in his funny antics if they had to do that. But I just found that those antics cutting very weird. Honestly, I think maybe it did have a little bit too much Jim Carrey. I think I'm referring to one of the reviews that one of the voice actors that I work with, TurboJet, Jed, I know you're familiar with him. I know I watched his review collab with some of his friends, and he did say that he did feel that it was a little bit much, and he didn't like how those cuts were there, and how it just wasn't necessary, and how I would have preferred seeing more of the Sonic stuff, because even if you're a kid, you're gonna enjoy Sonic. I know that if I was a kid, I would be like, what? Seeing that? I mean, that's in my opinion. I don't think, the kids who are into Sonic, they're gonna care that much for the funny antics of, Eggman, Gerald spanking Eggman. So, yeah, I would have preferred, just the Sonic stuff. The cuts were weird. And no, I'm not gonna talk about the dancing thing, because that was fine. I didn't mind that. But I understood that it was maybe a bit much. Also, where were they going with the Commander Rockwell character? Because like many others, I also believed that they were gonna go for something with her, but it didn't seem to go anywhere, because immediately after Tom gets, knocked out and put to the hospital, we don't see her ever again. Once the director succumbs to his injuries, she has this moment where she's like, I knew they couldn't be trusted. So she already didn't have a trusting thing towards Sonic and the others. And in the movie, it seemed like she had a total against Sonic and the others. She thought that they were on Eggman's side, or during doing their own plans, yada yada. It did kind of seem like they were gonna go for something with her, she would be a main antagonist going on moving forward. I mean, of course, we don't know how the next movie, if she's gonna be in it and we'll see her again, I don't know. But even then, we don't see her anymore after that moment. Tom gets injured, the hospital things are all there, we don't see her anymore. What happens? Does she just, accept that she was wrong and we don't see her anymore? It was weird. Honestly, I would have preferred if she turned out to be Rouge in disguise. That would have been so awesome. But, I can't imagine how the fourth one will top this one. Go watch this movie and see it for yourself. It will not disappoint. Also, there is no fart joke or flossing joke. Thank you!